that's my jam. I feel good.
Zone.
I feel good.
The Lindzon.
Lindzon.
Social leverage cap. I have to get you some swag.
Never send me anything. I don't have any stock switch swag. I don't have any social leverage swag.
You're almost lucky not to have any Robinhood swag. Did you ever flinch? Did you ever get caught up in the internet madness of kill Robinhood?
No, I had their back the whole time. In fact, I said that when all said and done and people stop being angry about this and move on to being angry about something else, right, as things go, we'll look back on this time and people will realize, which I've already, for me, it's quite obvious. I think Robinhood is the company that's going to have closed that knowledge gap in finance better than any other entity in human history. And I'm confident about that because they gave the accessibility. They let people learn for themselves, which is the only way that we're going to learn is by screwing up.
It's like Duolingo, but for trading, right? Like Duolingo's love, they charge, I don't know, $10 a month to teach you a language. You know, there's no free lunch. You're getting taught the language. Again, I couldn't fight the argument, the internet noise. I thought you'd have an interesting take. I like your take. You were bullish from day one, but I was getting so much flack just because I was a seed investor. I was like, what do you think?
Yeah, but people are stupid,
right?
Like you've gotten worse slack for worse things that you've done that are actually your fault.
Literally, you know how many things a day that are my fault? Like hundreds. I was just it was like a swarm of bees coming at me. And I was just like, they had no answer for it other than just cool down. Like,
yeah, but it's some angry folks with a blowhorn because the truth of the matter is next day they opened more accounts than any other brokerage. Right?
Not just that. I was looking at Barstool, not to begrudge a media person because he's a media guy. They're literally doing some deal with some brokerage that has like a Windows product. Like he's literally asking his users to boycott Robinhood and download a Windows-based piece of software. And he has fans, and people are doing that. They literally are like, they would like to take down the company that is about to democratize this, forgetting the management and they got rich. And I know they're the enemy and whatever, they're the establishment. I don't know how to help that. Like that's what happens in this world. You become the establishment. But it was really
if you're good and you're lucky and you do the right things. That's the goal, isn't it?
But this country is they're just so distrusting of rich people.
So what? That's their problem.
No, I agree, but it was amazing to be in the hurricane of it without really someone taking a stand, And
it's a good thing, Howard, because all these people are distracted and they're incredibly uninformed, and that sucks for them. For the rest of us who we laugh at that sort of thing and we understand the way the system works and we understand that there are rules we don't like and there are people making and enforcing the rules that we don't like and there are people taking advantage of the rules that we don't like and the system is rigged across time horizons. We know that. We figured that out decades ago. We got over it. I put my big boy pants on and I kept going. And now people are like all of a sudden discovering these things that we've known forever. So you have two options. You can take your ball and go home and you can complain and complain. You have that right in this country. You could say anything you want, go for it. But for most of us, we think that's ridiculous. Like, why would you waste your time? No one's listening. No one's going to change anything. You have no power. So might as well take advantage of those who are uninformed and being irresponsible and reckless with their money. They are making donations, and it's up to us to extract that money from those who are making donations. I mean, I don't see any other way around it.
Well, I mean, you and I look at it differently. It's a tool. We were trying to teach people how to use it properly, which means don't do YOLO calls.
Yeah, but if you want to, who am I to say don't do that? Go nuts.
Those people that are asking to burn down, the people that are pushing it are also the people pushing the narrative to burn it all down.
So let them push that narrative. Nothing's going to be burned down.
I think the biggest story is Reddit undid themselves. It's great for traffic. Traffic is the other thing that I'm mad about is like people go, oh, Howard, you guys should be more in the news and Stockton should be more in the news. I'm like, if it's that kind of traffic that the news brings me, that doesn't help me. That just confuses me. Like what Reddit was, what Wall Street Bets was 5 years ago versus what it is today. If you went to Wall Street Bets, is not the original intent of of
Right.
Wall Street bets. I would imagine the first guy who posted there did not have this as his goal.
And by the way,
Because
if you're sitting there watching the news, I don't want you coming to my site. Like, I don't want you following me. I probably don't want to talk to you. Like,
yeah, I'm going to block
watching the
you so
news.
fast if you tell me Robinhood should be dead. But I also, what's interesting is they invited so much of the institutions to finally discover their product, which is the whole point was not just, the whole point of investing is when you have something unique, treasure it. You're welcome to share it. We share our ideas, but we know people can't copy us because they don't want it. But they literally were sitting on gold, literally huddled these digital people around Reddit. Now they've invited the wolves into
The wolves
site.
were already in. These
I
guys
think
had
they
been
were
building
already-
these hedge funds had algorithms scraping Reddit for years, Howard. Come on.
Yeah, they had algorithms, but they also trusted Bloomberg to pull that data in and make it very easy for them to drink from the milkshake, right? For the
Well,
lazy.
yes and no. They built their own. That exists. I know. I'm talking to these guys.
Good point. And what this did was just bring 6 more million mob people to the site, which long term I don't think will be good, but we'll see.
Well, there's just going to be something else. And then before this, there was another thing. And then it's just the evolution of human communication. It's been going on forever.
Yeah, it's fascinating week. It's the most fascinating week to see people want to burn down the things that actually help them participate in this.
It's great because it distracts them, which increases the ARB for us, right? Makes this.
What were people thinking? Like, what did people think the end game of GameStop was? There were literally people thinking this was going to be a new currency just 3 days ago.
A new currency.
Look, some social, like a new Bitcoin, right? Like we're going to turn game. It's going to go to 1,000. No, literally. Portnoy and his crew were like, hold the line. Like they're using. First of all, the guy from The Wolf of Wall Street, great movie, whatever. My son likes the movie. There couldn't be a bigger predator on the middle class than that type of person. Their people would call doctors and nurses and whatever and extract money from the people they now think will, you know what I mean? That guy stood for fuck you to the middle class, not the elite. And it's just, people are just bananas. And, this GameStop thing was such a bad, blame it on whoever you want, but people need to blame themselves. You cannot go buy things you don't understand with money. You call it your fake money. Sorry, give that money to charity. Don't give that money to the trading gods. Because I think,
but if you want to, go ahead. It's not of your business or my business to stop people from doing that.
Oh, they did.
I go to the grocery store and you see people doing the lotto ticket thing, and I'm like, look at these idiots, right? What am I going to do? Tap them on the shoulder, be like, hey, let me show you what the odds are and what you're probably is going to end up, It's not my responsibility. I'm not going to like sit there at a bar counting someone's drinks, being like, hey, that's number 7. You should probably slow down. Like, I have my own problems. I have my own family to deal with. I can't, treat the rest of society like infants. Like, I got my own shit going on.
So now let's just switch to the markets, because there's misdirection of GM's in GameSpot. And AMC. Google all-time highs.
Yeah.
Jeff Bezos stepped down. I don't know how real time we want to get, but Google is one of the most not talked about interesting companies that's been in my portfolio forever. My 8 to 80, and it's ripping.
Well, a lot of these big names, Google, Netflix, Apple, Microsoft, all these names haven't done a damn thing. Facebook haven't done anything since the summer, right? So people are telling me that we're in a bubble and stocks only go up and blah, blah, blah. The biggest companies in the world, Alibaba down 20% since the summer. These are the biggest companies in the world. They haven't been going up.
I think I've been talking to you for a few weeks. Google is the one that's sneaky because it's the one that's not talked about. Amazon's recession-proof for sure. They're delivering goods. Netflix seems recession-proof.
Google's not recession-proof?
Well, I think people are realizing after seeing the numbers today, that's why it's spiking. It's fucking growing. It's fucking one of those that you forgot that was recession-proof. That is truly recession-proof, right? They
all kind of look the same. They ripped. They were the leaders into the summer. Then the small caps and mid caps and micros took over, and the megas kind of hung out for a little bit. Or maybe not a little bit, 5-6 months. That's kind of a long time. That's a hell of a consolidation. Nice base, well-deserved digestion of gains. And now we can move on. The S&P 500 can go to 4,500. The Dow Jones Industrial Average can go to 38,000. The NASDAQ 100 continues substantially higher towards 350 on the Qs. Like we got a long way to go. I think this bull market is just getting going. And if you look around the world, it hasn't even started. Europe has been flat for 20 years, still hasn't broken out. Emerging markets flat since 2008, still hasn't broken out, trying to break out. Australia is still negative since those 2007 highs. Financials are still below those great financial crisis highs from 07. They haven't even broken out yet. People are already calling a bubble, and we haven't even seen the breakout. Hey, Rachel.
Oh, look, Rach makes an appearance from her rally.
Ask Rachel what she's buying. I don't care what you're buying. What's she buying?
Rachel loves J&J. She made me buy her some. We API, which is the Agora, which is called Agora, which had a massive move. I think I've talked about it here, but they're like power the clubhouses of the world. Like everybody keeps talking about Clubhouse. How is Clubhouse possible with 10 employees? Agora, Twilio, these products that continue. How do you run a company like Clubhouse? It's $1 billion valuation on paper. And I'm not even a fan per se. You like it, but I get it. It's a beautiful, it's so interesting. 3 years ago, there's not going to ever be a good consumer app. Guess what we got? TikTok and Clubhouse, and probably 10 more coming, right? Mm-hmm. And Snapchat all-time highs. And
they're going to be running them all.
Yeah. So I think, like you said, it's easy to say bubble. What we do have as a problem is money printing, and that's showing up in what I call tiny bubbles. That's my Twitter handle.
Yeah, that's not my problem, though. It's
not our problem. I'm trying to keep people like, this isn't a bubble. There's tiny bubbles. What you saw in GME and AMC is a bubble. It's bad behavior. They're testing.
Getting punished.
And by the way, they wasted their time. They're missing Google. They're missing, you know what I mean? Yep. Yeah, they got their YOLO trades, but then you're staring at the screen. Like, I think what these kids need to learn is like, you can do this. You can go stare at your screen for 6 days in a row and miss life and stare at GME and AMC. And I've done it. We've all made that mistake. So I'm not telling people not to do it. All I can tell people is dumb, because I've been there and wasted 6 nights of like worrying about how.
And we've also been too big in positions and not been able to sleep and learned our lesson and been smaller. We've done all of those things.
I've woken up like with Credit Suisse going, I want them to die, and reading news about Credit Suisse because of XIV and going, I can't believe that CEO has the call. So we've all been on that side. What I think the misdirection was from our like Chamath and from Portnoy was that like there was some kind of bigger movement in hand.
Conspiracy theory.
Yeah, there's just the market, and it's bigger than all of us. And if you are not prepared, it will fucking destroy you. And it's misdirecting you. While everybody now is fighting and Robinhood's bad and GME is a Bitcoin and AMC, it should be allowed to trade at 6,000. The emerging markets will probably continue breaking out.
New all-time highs in Chinese internet, new all-time highs in Chinese tech.
Tencent all-time highs. I mean,
and then from a sentiment perspective, people were scared shitless. The volatility index was pushing 40 last week with the S&P 500 off 3.5% from all-time highs.
But I have to say
that's the highest ever, by the way, the highest ever with S&Ps that close to highs.
Yeah, I was looking at it last week and I was confused because the kids were having fun with their YOLOs. The FANGs, Facebook looking weak. I even said it on Momentum Monday this week to Ivan. I'm like, oh, wait. But after seeing Google's action and after seeing them digest and Robinhood raise $3.5 billion, we can hate the players. But the point is the government has just stopped us with money. And so you can yell at the machine all you want, but right now there's a game going on and people are participating and they're long. And the shorts, you may sound very smart, but you are getting annihilated. And I think it would be, what could the market do that's the most evil thing right now is just keep going up. You know what I mean?
I'd be really, really, really surprised if it didn't. Like I said, I think this is the beginning.
Evil thing they could do. Like it's the most evil thing they could do because people are yelling at it. Like, what? Why is the S&P there? The Republicans hate. It's their time to be yelling at that. I'm enjoying it because I had a guy yelling and taking a dump in my stream every day. Trump. People thought it was political. No, I just like talking to my friends without someone taking a dump. What's fun is the Republicans really are cornered off watching one channel. They watch one channel only, and they're really mad. So that's helpful. Number two is the
helpful to us.
No, it's helpful to business. People are getting back to work. Listen, people don't like noise. It gets them distracted. People have work to do. This country there's a lot of work to do. And I'm seeing it in Phoenix. Like, you can go do 8 hours of community service and get your first vaccine, So amidst the chaos, like, there's progress happening underneath. Like my daughter's like shouting out J&J and like owns all these stocks. Well,
healthcare is making new all-time highs, medical devices, biotechnology. She's in the right space.
She's just reading regular news. My son, who has dropped out of school, is following the market, is learning golf on YouTube. He's like networking. He's working at a restaurant. Like, business is going on, right? Like, and Shake Shack, the restaurants that I love, I've made some mistakes myself. Like, I'm long McDonald's, but I've been wrong the wrong restaurant. Like, Shake Shack tripled off the bottoms. Like, the world is picking its new brands and leaders, right? Peloton is like more interesting than Lulu. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on that's interesting. One of the most fascinating thing is people are choosing other companies over Facebook. Like, Facebook's going to be the most interesting company out of this. Google has stayed low. Jeff Bezos just stepped down. That's probably a genius PR move, right, for the company in an era of like, go do so. Just let the company grow. He still can pull some strings. And so the company really kind of in the crosshairs is Facebook, which is really interesting. And that's a stock that kind of has not broken out in a very long time. And there's a reason for that. The market's kind of working. You can talk about fundamentals or technicals or whatever, but like, Facebook's kind of boxed themselves in. And if you look at this chart versus the other four FANG stocks and Microsoft and Tesla, who's paid the most price for causing the most damage in the public's mind? Facebook. Even though they may have the best business, the markets are kind of working. And I think that's the kind of work that you have to do to really make money. You have to truly understand what's happening.
The market's definitely working. You know how you know the market's working? When Saturday Night Live says that the market's not working on 3 skits in the same episode.
What were they doing? You
didn't see that?
Yeah.
Pete Davidson plays like a character that he's like a YOLOing GameStop guy from Staten Island. He's like, yeah, I'm all in. I can't lose. And then what's her face? She's like, so the stock went from 17 to 430. Do you think that reflects the company's fundamentals? And he's like, we sell games. And then she's like, are you good at that? He's like, not really. So she's like, so the stock should be going down, but instead it's going up the most. He's like, yep. He's like, so the whole system's a joke? He's like, yep. I mean, when SNL thinks the system's a joke, that means the system is working better than ever.
It's working. The fact that Dave Portnoy, who's an hour into the market, thinks the system is broke is the exact same way we felt the first hour we looked at charts in 1970. The market always looks broke to new participants. That's a really good point. Anybody new to the markets, except the people in March who just bought,
they're like, this is great.
This is like not broke. This is my right, right? And I'll give the guys like Portnoy credit. He at least realizes how broken it is, and he's goofing on it. But he's also giving out too much bad advice and training on memes and other things.
If you're listening, if you're paying attention to someone like that to make decisions in the market, you're an idiot. I mean, he could be the smartest guy in the world. He's hilarious. He's made me laugh for 2 decades. Like, great. But like, I'm not going to listen to his YOLO calls. And like, if you do, and you lose Portnoy, I mean, great guy, like hilarious, raising a ton of money for charity. I'm not going to follow him into this YOLO AMC trade. Like, are you crazy?
Yeah, I guess. I think people are. So I'm just like surprised.
No, they definitely are, but too bad for them.
That's what he's saying. So, I mean, I guess it's just stylistic.
If I make stupid decisions, I deserve everything I have coming. I make smart decisions sometimes and I still get screwed. I mean,
another lesson, no matter, sometimes you do everything right and you get screwed. So let that be a final lesson to people listening today. Sometimes you can do everything right, and that's the markets. And the markets are bigger than all of us. You can do all your work. You can position size properly. It's something to fuck you up. And so it's been one of those weeks. I think this is the greatest moment in markets history because
dramatic much? You don't think it's a little dramatic?
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. You've onboarded 20 million new Americans through a pandemic, right? They're learning a language that's universal. Again, Chinese, go at it. French, you want to learn French? You go waste that time. You go have your croissant. You want to learn fucking Spanish? God bless. You want to learn markets? You can travel anywhere in the world till you're fucking dead. And you're speaking a universal language of fucking, it's electric, right? And so electricity, this is like you said with Robinhood, when I saw it, it was like electricity to me. It was going to burn a lot of people. But when you put a beautiful button on top of something that is possibly complex, of course things are going to break. And I think it did break at some level because Robinhood realized everybody pushing the same button at the same time is a little bit of a problem with leverage. That's
and then not to mention that people are doing things just because they have convinced themselves that by doing so, they're screwing over the suits.
Yeah, people need to remember that.
What are you
politics and money?
Worry about anybody. Worry about yourself.
But that's what I'm saying. It's one of the greatest lessons. They're going to look at their account and go, wait a minute, politics, and this is not about the man. This is about my game. And what was my account worth last month and what's it worth today? And how do I get the game to go up and to the right? This game that we're in is trying to help people go this way. And it's not smooth. The smoother you can make it, maybe you have a system. I doubt that's possible, but you know what I mean? The game is to go this way. It's reverse with you.
Right.
And the faster people learn to treat the game as their balance and the risks they take and have some kind of goal and strategy, and it's not a smooth line. And it shouldn't go like this. You can make it go like this. And tell you what, you'll wear yourself out.
Yeah.
Right. The beautiful part of the business is just getting aboard a trend and trying to understand that the markets are really about momentum. And everybody thinks there's some strategy, but really you just have to find these big trends.
The ones that are going up are probably going to keep going up. The ones going down are probably going to keep going down. That's just the way the market works.
Well, I appreciate it. It's good to get this off. I generally want to make sure we're on the same page because I hadn't had a chance to talk to you about this, and I've never seen such crazier behavior than last week.
I got a risk management level for you, 281 on the Qs. If the Qs are below 281, I think risk is elevated. The Qs are above 281, I think we're good. YOLO all you want.
Where are we at?
YOLO responsibly, please.
Where are we at? YOLO responsibly is a great t-shirt.
That's a good one.
Okay, get that shit up.
YOLO responsibly.
I'm going to tell Rishi to get that one up. So
you got to quote me though.
I quote well, I may not quote you. I can't remember if the conversation even happened, but you can point at the shirt on the street and go, that was mine. Just like all the Robinhood are saying, CME was AMC was my idea. The what I was going to tell you is, no, I forget, but it was important, was that, where's the QQQs at right now? Edit that, my man. Where are they at?
So today is Tuesday after the market closes, and the QQQ officially is at 327.
Oh my God! So we've got a lot of room. With Google breaking out, I would just
327 after it's really moved. 281 from a structural standpoint is a big one. I think the next target's 440.
Yeah. So I mean, trade responsibly, the trend is higher. Like you said, emerging markets breaking out, Google breaking out. Google is the internet. Amazon is e-commerce, but the other one I want to look at is Shopify. Has been going sideways, very healthy after a 600% move. You know, one of my top 5 positions. You know, for people that want to own commerce, I mean, there's no more distributed way to own e-commerce than it's almost a hedge against Amazon.
I think you own the leaders, Howard. I think you own the leaders. If you're looking at a stock and it's not above those January 2018 highs, don't bother with it. Yeah. There's plenty of them above their January 2018 highs, so you're not going to have a problem.
That's a really good point. It's the time to rebalance your portfolio. I've got some mistakes in my portfolio, I think.
And rebalance your social media. Make sure you're following the right people. Make sure you're not following the wrong ones. People who have given you very bad advice over the past week are probably good people to unfollow, block, mute, whatever it is that you do. The people that were right and obviously provided information, which there are plenty of those out there. Make sure you're following them. Make sure you tell your people to follow them. You know, you have to stay on top of your stream.
You have to garden. It's a curation business. Yeah. You can't let this shit. This is what I said the Wall Street Bets problem is you put 6 million new people into the game. You go, wait, my house changed. Like, who invited all these people? You know, that's what we deal with at StockTwits. It's like fun to grow, but then you got to kick people out because they're not behaving. So it's not easy.
Problems. The most first world of problems, Howard.
We call it white privilege. It's no bigger white privilege than a SPAC, though. Remember that in 2021. There's never been more of a white privilege moment. On that, I'll say have a great week, buddy.
Oh, Rachel, thanks for the J&J. I'm going to go YOLO the J&J as we speak.
So good. I'm OG, overly grateful for the chance to kill the beat, bro. Cain and Abel ain't trying to lay low. Peep the shine, comfortable in my own skin.